So let me tell you where we're at now in the third week of March and just before we get into April. So if you're a buyer, you've got lots of options. If you're a seller and if you're on the market, you have to be very, very accurate with your pricing and with the strategy. By strategy, I mean, are you listing it at market value? Are you setting up for a bidding war? But you have to be very, very, I guess accurate is the right word with your pricing. You can't be challenging the market. There's just so much inventory. Let me explain why I think the market is about a month to a month and a half behind. Because let me just draw this out for you. February and then March. Okay. We did this exercise yesterday with our team at the team meeting, but I figured it's great value for everybody. So let me get into this. In February, well, let me start with this. A balanced market is where you have an equal amount of buyers and an equal amount of sellers. Usually this time of year, we get low inventory, but we get lots of buyers. So in that case there, what we have is this. In February, you have what happened in February was this. We had lots of inventory hit the market, but we didn't have a heck of a lot of buyers. So you can see from here, I'm not sure if you can see that, but inventory is high, buyers is low. Why were the buyers low? Well, buyers just simply couldn't get out there looking at houses. It was cold, it was snowy as hell. And then what ends up happening is the buyers just can't get out there looking at houses. They're too busy dealing with the snowstorms, concerned about the tariffs, and they're just not out looking at real estate. But sellers are putting their home on the market. That's why here you have this line here of lots of inventory and not enough buyers here. So there is a gap there, if you can see that. Now, once we get into March, that gap increases with listings because now more listings hit the market in March. So right here, that line represents more listings. So there's the listings in February up there, and then you add more to that in March. The reason you add more to that is because the homes in February just weren't selling for the reasons that I just outlined. Buyers just weren't out there. We need buyers out there to be able to absorb some of the market or some of the listings. Now, there weren't that many buyers in February, so naturally what happens is February's inventory is now added to March's inventory, and it increases. So we have lots of inventory, but as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, March started off very well. The rates came down, the weather cleared up, the federal elections were behind us, and some people started jumping into the market. So the number of buyers did increase. So here we go. There. So the number of buyers also increased. But that still leaves us this gap here in order for it to be a balanced market. Now, this time of year is rarely a balanced market. This time of year, what we're finding is usually the opposite. We are finding listings to be here, buyers to be here. So usually there's less listings and more buyers, but like I said, we're running about a month and a half behind from the inventory being absorbed, and that's why we're having this different type of effect. Now, once we get into April, the number of buyers is also going to increase, and so is the number of sellers, because more homes are going to hit the market in April. It's when we get to May that I think we're going to start to see them balancing out. And then perhaps a lot of that inventory is not, well, more inventory is likely not going to come up in May versus April. But I do feel the number of buyers is going to increase. So we may get that extended spring market going into April, and then there's going to be some spillage into June, which may set us up for a fairly busy spring or fairly busy summer market. just because a lot of homes are just sitting on the market for an extended period of time, and they just didn't move in the spring, and now they're bleeding into the summer. And many buyers just didn't find the right house, or they couldn't get the right price on a house that was on the market. And so therefore their time on the market is also extended, possibly into the summer. But here's what I'm finding right here. It may not be the best illustration. It made sense when I explained it to the team because we're in this industry and we're seeing it, boots on the ground. If you have any questions, reach out to us, guys. But that's the latest right now. We do think that April should bring about additional market activity. Don't know how that's going to impact pricing, but definitely it's going to be, I think, a busy April as we're kind of finding the end of March being. See you guys.